Hey guys, and welcome to my guide on how I got #1 solo win rate on the leaderboards. I will explain you the strategy behind and give you some play-by-play commentary to some of my games. First of all, I think stats are very overrated and mainly reflect a certain playstyle. Of course, I made a new account for this different playstyle. Usually I'm playing very aggressive and don't really care about my stats or if I die, because I think taking fights with disadvantage and always playing on the limit is the best way to improve. However, I wanted to learn a different playstyle for upcoming tournaments, and in this video I will focus 100% on how to have the highest chance of winning. Playing to win means you want to avoid fights at all costs and only take those that bring you in a better position, like killing a good player that is distracted after a fight, or killing a less experienced player for easy loot. I have two games prepared where I will do some commentary. The first one will focus on positioning and long range fights. In the second one, we will go into close range combat and high ground advantage. Before we start with the games here, just some decent landing spots. In general, you want to land as far away as possible from the bus because it's the lowest chance people will follow you. And also when running into the middle of the map, you will face the least amount of enemies, so you'll have a very easy time gearing up and farming some materials. There isn't really the best landing spot. What's most important is that you know all the chest spawns and have an efficient route for looting the area quickly. Make sure right when you join in the game that you open your map and see where the bus is going. This way you can pick your landing spot. In this case I'm choosing Chang Junction. Spots like this are very good if you can early on scout that you are alone, then you can focus on looting. Right after my landing you can see me check the sky a couple of times just to make sure I'm alone. It's important that you are harvesting as much material as possible. Usually I want to leave with about 1000 in total. Having 1500 would be ideal. If you get lucky and the first circle is right on you, you will have much more time to harvest material, so make sure you use the time. If that's not the case, you will have to calculate how far you need to run. If you're running straight, one square is 45 seconds. However, because of different elevation and not always running straight, you should calculate 1 minute to cross one square. The first circle closes in after 3 minutes, so that means when you want to avoid taking damage from the first storm, you shouldn't be away further than 3 squares from the first zone when the storm starts moving in. So for the first circle, my goal is usually to stay on the edge. This way I can make sure nobody is coming behind me, and usually people kill each other quite fast in the early game, that by that time it will be around only 30 players left or less and they are quite far away from me. You should make a decision where to move pretty early on. Try to look for choke points or dangerous spots to cross. In this case it's the loot lake. I want to be in a position where I can move past it for the next zone, either on the east or the west side, depending on where the second circle falls. Same goes for when you went for a landing on the south part of the map. There you have the big river below Loot Lake, and you want to make sure you crossed it safely. So if a bigger part of the circle falls on the east or the west side, you want to move to that side earlier on because it's safer, and when the circle is larger, especially on the outside, there's a lower chance of meeting someone. Right here I actually encounter my first enemy player, and I'm going for a little bit of a risky shot. Usually you only want to take very safe shots because you don't want to give away your position. I get a little bit unlucky because he breaks right through the roof when I was about to shoot him, but I identified him as a rather new player. Reason one is because he didn't have a skin. Reason two, he was standing static while trying to open the roof and didn't really look around. When I finally found him again, I just built a ramp and put the wall in front so that I don't get shot down, and I kind of predict him to shoot at my ramp. That's why I pull out the sniper, pre-aim, and get the pretty easy headshot. So for the second circle, my main goal is to get the high ground position that is very central. This increases the chances significantly that I'm also in the third circle with my base, and just having that high ground earlier than the rest will make it easier for me to defend and put me in a favorable position for the rest of the game. Like always, but especially in this phase when you don't have a high ground position, you want to scout very carefully for opponents. So you see me just jumping around to make me harder to shoot, but also looking left, right all the time, because you always want to spot your enemy before they can see you and take the first shot. What I really like to do with traps is put them at the end of the stairs for a hill that I'm on, so I always have kind of a security alert system and know somebody's coming up there, because people like to just use the ramps that you've built. Also make sure you remove some of the trees that could block your vision and people could hide, and also it gives you a little bit of wood. I'm actually not right away building a base because I see that the next circle will soon be revealed, and before I waste my materials and build a base, I want to see where the next circle is, so always check the timing on the clock on your below your minimap. So right here you can see that we get rewarded for going for this high ground spot rather early on. Now we have the best position in the game and we can start building our 1x1 tower. 1x1 towers are very quick and efficient to build and can be a real threat if you have a sniper, because you can go for very safe crouch peaks, which is probably the most safe technique to go for kills if you don't want to avoid dying. Always make sure that you stay inside your base and no enemy can have line of sight on you. If they can't see you, they also can't shoot you. So do the opposite of what this guy here does. He just keeps hard peeking me, not being behind cover, which gives me another very easy shot doing a crouch peek. One of the risks of being in the middle is that opponents with explosives will maybe focus you. So that's why it's important that you are good at sniping, because that's one way to counter their attacks. Don't be too afraid of peeking a little bit too long when they are just shooting with rockets, because they can't fire back, and try to take them out. The good thing here for us is that we have a metal foundation. Metal can tank 2 rockets. After I killed my opponent, I will go quickly down and repair my base and then get back in position. Really focus on scouting. You don't want the enemy to sneak up. Here, of course, we have the trap also that alerts us and can take the player out that wants to sneak up on us. And then eventually circle number 4 is also on us. We are trying to reduce the circle RNG by getting in this central spot as soon as possible. For the next circle, we are no longer in the middle. However, we have the only good high ground spot. That means we can wait here, chill, take some fights with advantage, and go in late. If there's only one good high ground spot, it's no problem. Also, we have a launch pad, so whenever you have a launch pad, going in late is not a big problem. So yeah, from here out, with some good positioning and precise snipes, we managed to close out the game. So now in the second game, I'm going for a landing in the fields on the northeast part of the map. Here I actually get surprised by an enemy that saw me landing. It's very important that you focus on building over shooting. You always want to avoid taking damage, and then your second priority is to deal damage. and we can take him out without being touched. So once again, for this circle, I'm staying on the outside of the map, just trying to harvest as much as possible in a safe position, always looking for enemies, but trying to get lots of wood and stones. And then I can spot an unexperienced player, so of course I go for the easy kill, grab his loot and continue. So this part of the map is a little bit scarier because it's a bit more unpredictable where enemies come from, and they can just pop up very close range. Um, Once again, you see me open on an enemy that's rather close range, and we managed to pick that snipe up. And after that, it gets a little bit hectic and some interesting fights begin. So always be very careful when looting your enemy. This guy actually gets the jump on me right when I was about to go for the loot. He has the high ground, so it's very uh, hard for me to defend myself. It's important that I keep making roofs to protect myself. He jumps down and I try to take the opportunity to go for the high ground myself, but he's also a quick builder, so he manages to take the high ground again. I'm stuck down here, so I take my time to reload my rocket launcher. Always make sure you reload your guns if you have some time to breathe. And then also important that you have good editing skills in close range fights. It's very hard. Sometimes high ground is overrated. If there's a big base and you can somehow hide below, but this guy can definitely always spot me. And a third player enters the fight, I get sniped from somewhere behind. That's very annoying, and now it's pretty much a quagmire. Of course, always be time efficient. If you're not reloading, building, or shooting, make sure you heal. Always like make use of your time, because if you're just sitting around doing nothing, your enemy will maybe get an advantage. So very scary. I don't have like an overview of where anyone is. There's two players close to me. Just trying maybe to get back to the high ground here, see what's going on. And I spot the guy next to me. I'm getting a really nice rocket in on him. So with rocket, you sometimes need to be careful that you don't shoot the wall that your enemy is about to build close range. And then that guy makes kind of a stupid play, running away without cover behind him. Then I'm just looting up and kind of trying to get an overview of who's close to me. And one guy actually pushes me. I hear him, but I can't see him. He's somewhere below, but at the same time, I get shot from the guy in the tower far away, which is usually really annoying if you get focused by two guys at once. Can't really spot that guy below me, so I might go for a lucky snipe on that guy on the other side. Turns out he's like hard peeking and I'm able to take him out. I end up actually not finding the guy below me and just loot some stuff on the ground here. And then try to make my way in the circle, because usually I want to be in the middle at this point, but I had so many fights that I just need to try and somehow stay safe. And as soon as I make it in the circle, I build a base, because I have the feeling somebody could be close. And turns out there's a guy waiting in the bush next to me, but there's also two players fighting on the other side. Kind of potatoing my shots there. That rocket wasn't smart, like no way it's going to hit. I'm a little bit greedy for frags here, a little bit peeking too long. But it works out fine. We take out that one guy. Then don't get tunnel visioned on that one side. Maybe there's somebody close on the other side. Also, take out a tree that could be blocking you from building in the future. And one guy pushes me close. Pretty easy kill with the rocket. Uh, like there's no way you're going to take down a good player in a base if you just stand down there and shoot. Then the other guy we know earlier wants to push me. I'm kind of baiting him. like I'm shooting the wall and want him to go for me. So he pushed me stupidly, but he actually had a launch pad and I didn't see that coming. So I got what I wanted, just a little bit faster than expected. Trying to disengage because he shot me low and I want to heal up with my mini shields. He keeps spamming. I'm trying to create distance. The tree is very helpful when you want to disengage because it's just additional cover. I finally can shield up. And once again, I'm scanning the other side as well. Don't want to get pinched between two guys. And now when I'm feeling I'm in a position where I can take the fight, I'm taking down the tree and start my push here. Of course, I don't really know where exactly he is anymore. So I'm breaking the structure. I still don't see him. Then I hear he starts shooting me. I build cover all directions. So he's somewhere on the low ground, which should give me good advantage. Then he's pushing me up. You need to be quick with the rockets. If you shoot too late and he's like blocking with a wall, you're most likely going to die. And dropping down is something that's very risky. You should only do it if you like 100% know you get the kill. And once again, the next enemy already comes for me. Pretty lucky there to get some extra shield. It's a little bit close with the zone. But we managed to heal up and yeah, there's only two other players left. One guy is in that high base, wooden base. Just need maximum of 4 rockets to take that down. Kinda lasers me and yeah, just always heal up. That's why mini shields are good. Like you can during fight just take 1 second, heal up, and then just keep going. And one guy is close. You need to be very quick with building cover. That's the most important thing. You see somebody close, just build, build, build. And if you have 1 moment breathing room, reload your guns. Kinda doing a stupid play there because I dropped down, but this guy was not ready for me. And I could have maybe punished him just for sitting there, but I just value going for the high ground a bit more and just taking another chance. He's trying to counter push, just build higher. So I could go for some high ground denial by just placing platforms. That's a little bit safer, but if you do it the way I do and don't put platforms on, you can just find some windows of opportunity to go for the shots. And yeah, from there on it's a 1 versus 1. Always make sure you check how many players are left so you know how many threats you have on the map. And it's very important that you scout your enemy in the 1 versus 1. Trying to make my way in the circle here. Once I'm there, I start building some cover. I spot the enemy. Might take some bit of risky snipes there. He could have hit me with a little bit of luck. And then that's how you use the rocket launcher. You don't shoot the tree. You want to shoot behind the tree. I'm going for 1 rocket on each side behind. First one hit, bam, he probably goes to the other side. Second one hit and we win. And yeah, that's it with my guide for winning games. Of course, in general, you want to improve as player. I have many other guides on this channel and much more to come. So for specific topics, make sure you check them out. And thank you very much for watching.